Dear friends, welcome to yet another installment of Strategic Power. In this video, we are going to examine the harsh words of the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, amid geopolitical tensions in the Indo-Pacific. We will address the complex interactions between North Korea, China, and the United States, in addition to the impact of the recent opposition victory in the South Korean legislative elections. The question is this war posture just a pose, or is there a real risk of conflict in the region? Watch until the end to better understand this intricate web of power and interests. The North Korean leader declared that it is time for the country to prepare for war. These words were spoken while Kim Jong-un visited North Korea's main military university, according to the state news agency. He stated that, due to the political and military instability surrounding the country lately, it is crucial to be prepared for a confrontation. Kim also told officials and students that if the enemy opts for war, North Korea will respond with a deadly blow without hesitation. In recent months, tension between the Koreas has increased significantly. The North accuses the United States and the South of carrying out military exercises. How can we interpret this statement by Kim Jong-un? Are we really heading towards war, or is it just a way of pressing in the discourse? In a way, when we look at Kim Jong-un's words, it is important to consider that they arise in a context of significant changes in the Indo-Pacific region. China is taking a different approach with regard to Taiwan, which is concerning all of Asia. This is not something isolated. North Korea has always been, in rather strong language, a messenger of Beijing. It is important to remember that North Korea is entirely dependent on China. Just knowing that around 85% of the gasoline consumed by North Korea is provided by Beijing is enough to fully understand the country's limits and dependence on China. With the situation worsening across Asia due to China's policy shift regarding Taiwan, Kim Jong-un's statements take on a new dimension. They serve as a reminder of this ally, and in a way suggest that this ally can play a crucial role in a possible conflict, offering the first threat. This does not mean that there is an imminent threat in sight, but it indicates that there is a warlike discourse that fuels tensions throughout the Asia-Pacific region. In the recent legislative elections, the South Korean opposition emerged victorious, increasing its representation in parliament. Although the Democratic Party still maintains control of the National Assembly, it was only 3 votes away from achieving an absolute majority in the legislative branch. This result represents a significant blow to the president, as he may lose influence in the remaining years of his term and face difficulties in implementing measures from his conservative agenda. After the results were released, the current Prime Minister and other advisors offered their resignations. In the face of all this tension, especially in the relationship with the United States, the situation becomes even more complex. The elections in South Korea take on enormous relevance, especially when we consider that the country is part of this new approach that the United States is taking to approach Asian countries. We cannot underestimate the role of South Korea in this context, which includes rapprochement with Japan and Washington's growing influence in the region to contain China. South Korea is the 4th element in this equation. It is undeniable that, in the current international scenario, the elections in South Korea take on great importance. However, it is important to note that both the ruling party, the People Power Party, and the opposition, the Democratic Party, do not question the close relationship with the United States. South Korean foreign policy is virtually unchanged in this regard. What changes is the internal scenario, as the country faces a significant economic crisis, partly due to rising international and oil prices. These economic challenges are added to the political tensions, creating a challenging environment for South Korea. The Democratic Party, which is more centrist, suffered a narrow defeat in the 2022 presidential elections, losing by less than 1%, specifically 0.77%. Therefore, the current elections represent a kind of rematch. They have the potential to alter the balance of power internally in Korea, strengthening a more centrist position in contrast to the more conservative and radicalized approach of President Yoon. However, in terms of the international scenario, it is unlikely that significant changes will occur. North Korea, perceiving that the more democratic opposition was gaining strength, withdrew from the hypothetical Korean Reunification Commission in January. This suggests that North Korea had already anticipated the imminent political changes in South Korea, which will likely move even closer to the United States. It is not in North Korea's interest to see a more moderate and pro-American South Korean leadership, which is now practically in an absolute majority. The opposition in South Korea is only 3 votes away from conquering an absolute majority in parliament. This majority is crucial, as it could pave the way for an impeachment process against the president. Therefore, we see the South aligned with the United States, the North with China, and China expanding its presence in the Pacific Ocean, resulting in a readjustment in regional relations. It is a scenario that we will continue to monitor closely. Despite Kim Jong-un's aggressive words, the geopolitical reality suggests a dangerous game between the major powers of the region. With South Korea increasingly aligning itself with the United States and China expanding its influence, the Korean peninsula becomes a battleground between these giants. Will we be on the brink of witnessing a new and devastating war in the Pacific? Share your opinion in the comments and follow our channel to stay up to date with the latest developments.